So yeah, we're good now. So it is October 6th. It is 7:24. It is the professional trader. I'm here again with my brother Kailash. Today is news day, right? Uh, I guess today is the day where we're going to see, which way the dollar, is going to head. Is it going to continue to head up? Is it going to continue to head down? So we have about 5 minutes until that happens, right? But big pushes on the dollar, right? To the downside, though. What do you think about that, Kailash?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's when it was approaching like that area from last year.
Mhm.
And another thing I'm keeping a note of, I'm marking up the high of September, and right now we're under the high of September. So just
Yeah.
I'm monitoring it. Like how long is it going to be that way? How much are they going to be able to push below the high of September?
Mhm.
If they go sideways, that's bullish for the dollar.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll have to see. Like I'm keeping an eye on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the moment, even like before the news comes out, and so we have about 5 minutes. But just something I want to take a note of. What we were just talking about earlier was the way oil fell, right?
Yeah.
Not in this position, but this was something I drew up because buyers would be potentially looking to start buying from this level again. But we see that clearly did not hold, right? And what, like, when they talk about like impulses versus correction, I feel like this is impulse moves to the downside, which show like the strength of oil for the time being for sure. uh like we had this support area down here, and it looks like it's just completely closing below all that, and then we
Mhm.
kind of even had like a slight retest and a low of that. So if oil continues to just trend down, something I am looking at potentially is USD CAD. We did talk about that a little bit. I am in a small buy even before the news comes out, but nothing
Nice, nice.
nothing crazy, nothing that like if the numbers came out terrible, my account would be on the opposite side. So just from a numbers perspective, just waiting on that. And then from a weakness in oil, looking for USD CAD to potentially go higher, but I just need to be aware, of this resistance up here though, right? But if oil continues to go down, then I believe that we should, potentially continue to see USD CAD go up. So another one that I'm looking at is AUD USD. It's been kind of just ranging, right? Ever since it made this low here. We see that if we take a draw a fib, draw from here, we see that it's kind of been retesting this 382 level, right? So to me, still in an overall downtrend, but would really just want to see the break of this small support here, right? And then if that could happen, then we could potentially see AUD USD go down as well. But 2 minutes, right? Till the news
Oh
comes
yeah.
out. Are you looking at anything, man?
Yeah, I'm watching the big current like the five main currencies, I guess. And I'm noticing too like the AUD and the Canadian dollar, they're the weakest. Japan is a little bit mixed. I know I can see Euro and the British pound, they've been
Yeah.
kind of grinding up too.
USD
And
JPY looks a little bit, because right, it's like I wouldn't call this a lower low, but like just trending, sideways. Really, I guess
yeah,
is what we should call it. But kind
that
of
big candle really kind of like shook things
right,
up. Yeah.
that's kind of like the same thing though with like all yen pairs, kind of like you were talking about, like which one is really stronger. Yeah, but kind of like had, but see, however the numbers come out for the Canadian news too should really affect this pair, so that'll be interesting as well.
Yeah. I'm a little cautious with the yen because it's like I'm kind of like I'm uncertain, not too sure. Like it's not as clear as like just the Canadian dollar, the US dollar. It's very clear. Like you can see it's weak against the. You'll notice when it changes, but the the yen is a little bit mixed. Yeah.
So I guess we'll see how these numbers come out in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking a look at gold, we see that like even with the dollar pushing down, like right, that really had no effect on gold, still kind of just staying just just down here.
Very weak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very weak. Looking like it's gonna head to the support level down here though, right? So
I think so. I hope so. I'll look I'll look to reload. Every time I'm taking those small buys, I'm looking for like an exit. Immediately, I'm like, let's trim, get out, get out.
so
Yeah.
we have about 20 seconds. So
See, so the forecast it says it's 170,000, and
okay,
last time they released it was 187,000. So we'll see what happens there.
yeah, true. Then
Maybe
we
it's
see
different.
actual
Okay, yeah,
forecast. It's good for currency. So these numbers about to come out any second. Go to the DXY, see how this starts to react. But we see that kind of a pop, right, coming in. So moving up, nothing well,
yeah. Okay.
pretty nice. But from what I know, these numbers, it'll go up. Oh wow,
Yeah. I want to
that's
see if it fades. Does it fade like or does it hold?
that and that's
It's holding.
remember I think it was yesterday we were talking about FOMO and then I was like, the market will always give back for sure. And like it'll do some type of retracement and some like it'll give you that chance to get in. So we see kind of on the dollar, right?
Yeah,
Average
it's
hourly
going.
earnings. What was forecasted was 0.3. What was projected was 0.2. Non-farm employment though, we see what was forecasted was 171 and the actual was 336. That's pretty good, right? But then we have the unemployment rate. What was forecasted was 3.7 and what the actual numbers was 3.8. But right, what would you say? 50-50? I would say still overall bullish though for the dollar, right? More more
Yeah.
more bullish than bearish. But see here for for Canadian news, we had
Okay.
unemployment change and employment rates both positive for the Canadian dollar. So um a little bit interesting, right? On
Yeah.
something like that. But we
I have
see
a hard time understanding the what's it called? Like the fundamentals of it.
mhm,
Completely honest. Yeah, like that's a big that's like a it's like a big what's it called? Like that's a big difference, right? Like 336 versus 170.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
a change in the number of employed people during the previous month. So, it's looking well for folks out here in the economy. But
Yeah.
let's look at USD CAD. We see,
Okay,
right?
okay.
We see that we had that initial push, but I guess that positive news on the Canadian dollar, is kind of pushing USD CAD right back down, right? So interesting on USD CAD, right? Real interesting.
Let's see. Okay. All the way back down. Yeah, yeah.
Take a look at oh wow, look at AUD USD. So in some profits there, right? But we see we're giving some of it back, right?
All the way up. Yeah.
GBP USD. Oh wow. I was looking to potentially short GBP USD from this resistance level right here, but once we broke it, was looking for it to come up like here. It did. Didn't realize it came up here that fast, but wow, that's pretty monstrous. GBP USD, Euro USD, kind of the same thing, right? U.S. oil, we're seeing continue to tank. So interesting, right? The
Yeah.
numbers were good for the Canadian dollar, but we see that U.S. oil is still tanking. USD CHF was looking at a position for this one too. So if I can get a pullback, any sort of like retracement sort of wick, we'll probably be looking to enter USD CHF. So USD JPY, right? It's interesting. So that wick that happened seems like like that psychological 150 number, got hit, immediately came back down.
Hmm.
Everybody started selling. But I think overall, that number is going to get broken eventually and going to continue to go higher. You see gold continue tanking, right? Looking like it's about to potentially hit that support level down here. So
It's all about and the yields are going up too, like the 10-year yield.
10-year
It's back up at like the I go on TNX to look at it and it's
TNX,
back up. Yeah, it's making like new highs.
TMX. I have this one. Can you see my screen?
Let me see. Oh yeah, US 10-year. Yeah, yeah, same
Is
thing,
this,
same
is
thing.
this the same one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's rising up pretty high too, right?
Yeah.
So
It puts the most pressure on Japan and Europe a little bit. So yeah,
so
they get
so looking
yep.
at like CAD JPY, pretty interesting, right? That positive news for the Canadian dollar is pushing this back up. So, you know, overall, it was in an uptrend overall till it hit this resistance. It kind of broke above it, but more so of a fake out than a breakout, in my opinion. But can we see this, potentially start to head back up? So, that'll be an interesting one as well too. I'm gonna go ahead and give the screen to you, my man.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's see.
let me go back.
I should outline this. That 4-hour downtrend. To be honest, I am looking to fade the dollar a little bit here. Now,
Okay.
this news is kind of huge, right? So I'm interested to see also how the market opens up at 9:30 too, to see that reaction. Sometimes I always hear the initial reaction is not always like the true reaction, but I mean, you never know. There's no guarantees. But yeah, I'm
I
looking at the dollar.
feel like
Yeah.
so let's say like it was to wick, right? But not like give like the wick was not like 70-80% of like what it was. I feel like as long as like it wicks, but it's still wicks in a nice bullish uptrend.
Yeah.
Like
And
that
this is definitely still bullish, right? Like
it,
it's holding, it has like the body, right? It's not just like a upper wick.
yeah. So like like but like if it did something like that USD CAD wick, then I'd be like,
Yeah.
But I feel like people are going to be taking profits. So something like USD CAD, I'd be iffy on. But
I see that right there.
if as long as the DXY doesn't like do something like that, I personally would just be looking to get in like on other pairs if they could just like do some sort of retracement. So
Yeah. And I
uh,
also like look like I love that. Like that's my biggest tool right now is like the September low.
hmm,
It's like who is making a difference compared to that? And it looks like those like euro, Canadian dollar is
hmm.
starting to push up away from it. Let's
Oh
see.
wow, so it bounced right off that September low this weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
Very interesting.
See,
Uh,
Japanese yen getting back there. I mean, it had a little bit of strength just from that
right.
random kind of push up, but
So
fading back.
so like it's interesting to see like the DXY bullishness, like how it translates to other forex pairs because it's like
It is.
from a technical analysis standpoint, like yes, it is bullish and like therefore like things should go along with that, but that's why I'm finding like fundamentals so much more important now because when like what's going on like with the yen and like when what's going like with the Canadian dollar, like it makes more sense like why you should like look at this chart maybe a little bit more than like this chart. So it's pretty interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm having the same realization too because I used to think it was just the US dollar moves on its own, but it's funny. It's like these other currencies move the United States. It's like a relationship, I guess. It's like it's like the weather. It's like the world in general. Like it's not always one thing. It's all everything's kind of connected and pushing against each other, and it's really interesting too. I noticed that.
Pretty cool.
I've noticed. I'm looking at like the dollar here. It's still technically a downtrend if you
mhm.
look at it in this way. Now I'm still like it's still very bullish. It's looking for a daily higher low here, and it's almost going to set a daily higher low if you just from here to there. This is just another daily higher low. It's a daily uptrend, but within that, we'll have to find out next week most likely because today we're kind of inside. But the 4 hour, if you're an aggressive bear, in my opinion, like you're playing off this 4 hour downtrend here, lower high, lower low, and you're just looking for another lower high to kind of keep things down if you're a bear on the dollar. But bulls today are just going to look to kind of continue upwards. We'll have to find out. But I think next week will be really huge. It's going to be like what's going to happen as a result of this. And we're
Yeah,
also at the point where, like the weekly candle too. If bears kind of put a little bit pressure on the dollar, we're going to look to the low of this week next week. So
yeah,
that'll be important to watch. Yeah, for me.
yeah. Pretty interesting. Like as bullish as like the dollar bit, as bullish as it's been, like a lot of resistance that it's heading
Yeah.
towards. So, uh,
And I watch right here. In my opinion, the if I want to be a buyer of the dollar and I want to put like maybe even size or whatever, if I want to have like a significant if I just want to be a confident buyer, I want to see it get it back above this daily high because from what I see, it's like they popped above it and then they came back below.
mm,
Now this data is delayed. This is delayed 15 minutes. So right now it's starting to show up, but as a dollar bull, I would like to see them get back above there. On the DXY chart, that number is just 106, 84,
you pull
83.
up
Yeah.
USD CAD. I want to see how that is looking at the moment.
Let's see cat right here.
Yeah, so not looking too hot USD CAD, huh?
Yeah.
Still,
Seeing on the I want to see on the 4 hour chart, USD CAD. Still getting my brain around it. The whole like the ratio.
yeah,
So this is Canadian dollar strength, I would say.
yeah. So like USD for yeah. So
Okay.
that Canadian dollar strength is what is making this like not continue to push higher.
Oops. One thing I will say about the oil, it's very bearish, but I wouldn't be a buy. Like, how do I say this? Me personally, I'm not buying it
Mm,
because this is such a sharp, severe pullback. I mean, I would be looking for like lower highs.
yeah,
But when you zoom out to the weekly chart, technically it's looking for a weekly higher low compared to the last one, right? Right. Compared to right here, the bulls are looking for a dip to buy. Although this is very sharp. It's like it's 10% in 1 week, which is like
and it is
huge.
kind of in that like support. What was once resistance now looking like potential support. If we go kind of.
Yeah, I see that.
So I mean, interesting, but I must definitely get what you're saying, but yeah, the way that has drawn, kind of like what I was saying earlier, I feel like this is maybe one of those times where like it's an impulse versus a correction,
Mm.
So but we just have to see, but that is pretty sharp
Yeah.
movements and like big bearish candles to the downside, but
Wouldn't you expect at least like a small bounce just
yeah,
to lower highs at least? I that's what I'm thinking.
for sure.
So if I were to be bearish the Canadian dollar, I would want to do it on like after the bounce, I think.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree for sure. Uh, I'm in AUD USD. How's that looking? Still
Right here, yeah.
wicking a little bit from the off those September
Yeah.
lows.
So
So
yeah, it touched the September low and it's like challenging, how do I say that? Like it's kind of like in question, I guess.
like the
Because
trade,
it's yeah.
like the trade is still not completely valid in my opinion to the downside. Even uh, I'm in the trade right now. I'm looking at it on my phone. I see that I am up 43 pips. So
Nice.
I'm up about $43. Not bad. Probably just gonna move my stop loss to break even. So whatever happens, like this happens. But I'm gonna ride out the trade, right?
Yeah. So
Uh,
far the US dollar, it's holding up very well.
yeah, holding up pretty well.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, uh, was wishing I was shorting Euro USD and things of that nature too. But the old me would have been like taking AUD USD sales and Euro USD sales, but it's like, I don't want to go against myself too much, right? Because
Yeah.
if it didn't go the way I was expecting, now I'm wrong twice.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
So, but pretty cool though, man, to see the way this news is playing out for sure. Are
Yeah.
are you
And
in any trades right now? Are you looking to trade anything potentially?
yeah, I just entered a bit of gold here. I'll be honest, it was a little bit like impulsive. I probably entered a bit early. I entered like right at the high here. And I'm definitely down, but it's small size. And I've entered, let's see, the NASDAQ
Oh,
compared to yesterday's low.
oh,
Because when I look at the NASDAQ, I still see that we're down. I think we are going to probably break to new lows possibly here, but I'm going to kind of bottom fish, have
uh,
an entry up here. Yeah.
for the buy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
mean,
definitely underwater a little bit right now, but I'm using small size.
yeah, but I mean, I feel like if you're not over risking, I feel like that's still a potential like better risk to reward ratio until you see the break of those lows. Just because like the risk to reward is there for it to continue higher. So I
Yeah,
mean, to me, not a bad idea, but not something that you'd want to risk 70-80% of your account for. I mean, you never want to do that in general, but yeah,
yeah,
I agree for sure.
yeah.
Dollar.
I'm quick to exit. If the dollar keeps pushing up, I'm just gonna take it off. But yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm gonna see how my
All right, cool,
FTMO
cool.
account is doing. We see CAD JPY pushing up pretty heavy. I don't know if you can see my screen
I
again.
can see it now. Yeah,
CAD JPY pushing up pretty heavy. TVP JPY, still kind of, I don't know, interesting chart, right? Because it never came and touched this support level down here, whipped all the way up, but like now it's kind of looks like it's kind of just rejecting again, and it's been in this like overall downtrend. So
it's
if
definitely like it's the yen weakness that is helping that chart, right?
for
The
sure.
GBP, JPY, yeah. Because the yen, it really it's had a little bit of strength, but now it's back to the regular scheduled being weak. But
Uh, Another thing I've been paying attention to is Euro AUD. Kind of like the same thing with GBP JPY, but a little bit better. Like was kind of just looking for it to touch this support level like a little bit more down here, but it never did. But like the overall structure to me is still in the uptrend. And then like when we kind of start to look at it, we see that it's been making these, lower highs, but still struggling to break this resistance. But
yeah,
um, you know, was bearish in the moment, but I was overall most definitely looking like more bullish in the long run, but was looking to shorter from this resistance level. I took two trades that were basically break even. I took one here, but I got stopped out after this pullback. Took another one in this area, but got stopped out after this pullback. So,
nice.
you know, didn't really win, didn't really lose, but your AUD is like just in an interesting place. So not looking to sell it again, but now just more so looking to see if we can finally get the break of the structure right, like a clean break. And if we can, then I'll be looking to continue to buy this pair possibly, but we'll
A
see.
break would be nice because it is kind of going sideways a little bit
Yeah, for
for the
sure.
most part. Yeah.
Pull up my kind of see how I'm doing. Ooh, thought it'd log in. Nah. Ooh, no, right now. I don't know. I feel like people are.
I know what you mean. Yeah, you never know.
Let me sorry about that. Let me probably just log in later, right? But
Yeah.
uh I'll probably hand the screen over back to you in a little bit. Just
All
logged in.
right. Cool,
DXY
cool.
is pushing up pretty heavily, man, pretty heavily. What was
Yeah,
that level of that you wanted to see a break?
let's see. For how do I say it? It's definitely in the bullish area right now. So
Yeah,
it's continuing that daily move going higher.
I know you had like a level marked up that you wanted to see it, like a resistance.
Oh, let me see. For the bull side or like do you think bearish?
Yeah, for the bull side,
Okay, for me it's like basically 107.
107.
Yeah, maybe because the one chart I'm using like it's a little bit different, like maybe like a 30-cent difference. So
Yeah,
I would say like yeah, I said like 107.50 is pretty much it. Yeah.
107.50. You said.
Yeah.
Uh,
Stocks are moving down quite a bit. Like the indexes, it's definitely like, it's one of those things where it's like good news is bad news because it's good that there's more employment and all that stuff, but it's bad because that just means they're gonna have to raise interest rates more, or they can raise interest rates more. So,
yeah, that's
yeah.
that's an interesting thing. It's definitely. Uh, a stock that I've been watching, not buying, is Instacart. I didn't know Instacart went
Yeah.
public, but it's
I heard about it, but how is it looking? Like, is it bullish? Oh, it's like IPO. Yeah.
doing terrible.
Yeah.
Doing terrible at the moment. But like, I believe this is like way below like what it even opened up as. So like, what you could buy it at opening, but I something I'd be looking to potentially buy in the future for sure. So that's my stock of the day. I don't really watch stocks, so but
Yeah.
I do like Instacart. So the only reason why I'd be interested in ever buying something like that.
That's good. Like if you use it and you have like that's a good thing, I think. Yeah.
But man, this DXY strength is pretty crazy, man.
Yeah. It's just wow. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Now volatility's starting to pick up. Everything's like it's just back to what happened like last week. It's
it's,
pressure on assets and just pretty much yeah, dollar strength, yield strength, everything that people don't want, everything that bulls don't want,
yeah,
it's coming back up.
it's
Yeah.
true.
So it's like I think we just monitor it, like see sure, yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of just starting to watch the indices a little bit more, but what something I've always noticed about the Forex markets, when the Forex markets do gap,
Hmm.
before it like continues in the trend that it'll go, from what I've seen, it'll like always fill that gap like 75%, 50% before it might gap continue to go down, but like it'll eventually start to trend back up, fill that gap, and then continue to go the other way. So
Yeah.
stocks sometimes will gap and just continue to like not fill that gap and just continue down. That's a thing.
Yeah. And that just shows you like it shows you like the sellers or the buyers, depending on if it's a gap up or gap down, they are the strongest when it doesn't even fill it. Yeah, yeah.
Man,
I
so
didn't know that Forex because I didn't watch Forex too much, but I didn't know how much like does it usually gap like when the market opens? Is that kind of how it works?
yeah, usually when
Okay.
markets open it'll gap. So got my Forex, I mean not my Forex, my FTMO account for anybody who is on my journey. Had taken some L's because I think I was up like 5.5% at one point, but had got down to like 4.2%. But a little bit profit right now in AUD USD. So yeah, nothing major has happened on my FTMO account. Just trying to see what I can get for on AUD USD now. Would like to see it break this support level here and head back to this daily support down here. But we'll just have to see. Uh, take a look at gold one more time. See, we do have this, this little wick. So, my thing on gold is like, are we gonna come and touch this, exact because we have this support level right here, right? But then we also have like this level just
Yeah.
above as well, right? So it's like, and we see it's kind of wicking already. So, you know, are we gonna come touch, here, come touch here, and then start trending up or something like that? But real interesting on gold. Real,
Because this move, it's like they're trying. It's almost like they're trying to liquidate somebody. Like they're trying to get to somebody. Like it's basically just giving so much pain. So where is the pain gonna stop? It's probably gonna like that low that you pointed out. Like that's a good spot. Like we don't know if it's gonna happen, but that is a good spot to kind of bring a lot of pain because yeah, there's probably a lot of people watching that level.
but
It's very clear.
kind of like what we were talking about earlier, kind of like the same thing with oil. Like this is one of those times where like this is a impulse versus like a correction to like for it to continue up, right? These are like
Yeah.
real bearish, like heavy moving candles, like clearly changing the direction of the market for the moment at least, right? Kind of like the same thing with oil. Like these are like big impulse candles to the downside, like changing the direction in the moment
You
for
know
sure.
what's interesting? If you look at Coca-Cola stock, it's
Coca-Cola.
a KO.
Okay.
You'll laugh, I think, because like it
Man,
looks the exact same. Yeah, KO. And
got
also PEP, Pepsi stock,
it.
they got hammered the past few days. It's
Oh,
like basically it looks like oil. It looks like gold. It's funny.
sorry, I don't have I'm on
Yeah.
limited like USB space right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dang.
Yep.
Happens
And these are
cold.
big stocks too. Like a lot of like big people kind of own these stocks. So that's probably it's them dumping it. Like who's selling that? That's kind of like big money selling,
Who's selling that? Man,
right? And
what?
McDonald's, it's McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi. Yesterday they were all down 5%. So that's kind of what raised people's alarm bells a little bit.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is this is interesting though. Like, if somebody was looking to like get in on this stock though, man, you're
Yeah.
probably not gonna see prices like this for a while, man. Who knows,
Right.
right?
It's a little fear is setting in, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And the thing is which ones are the safe stocks? The tech stocks. The tech stocks are currently, so far, they are like the safe haven.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
Uh,
But
I'm gonna pull up something like Tesla, maybe.
Tesla, yeah, relative strength recently. I know Tesla's a little bit, there's I want to say people controversial. That might not be the right word, but like people are very opinionated on Tesla. But relatively recently, it's been relatively strong. Um, 2 days ago, the market went down, and Tesla was holding sideways. And then when the market had a little bit of a bounce, 2 days ago, or I might have been mixing up like 3 days ago, 2 days ago, but when the market had a little bit of a bounce, Tesla had an outperformance. But Tesla's holding up really well. Yeah, Amazon got destroyed a little bit recently. Let's see. I have my 6 tech charts that I look at. Nvidia has been holding up very nicely on the bounce. Yeah, Tesla's nice. Microsoft flat. Apple had a decent bounce too, but a few gap downs this morning. A couple of them. Tesla actually is on the morning. Tesla's having a bit of a weakness. Google's not bad, but I mean, overall, little caution, right, with the stocks, I guess, because dollar strength, yields strong. They're holding their gains. They're not giving it back. Even the dollar right now, it's pulling the dollar's pulling back, but it's pulling back very sideways. It's very healthy for the bulls. But what I'm gonna look at is 9:30 when the market opens, because that's when the big money, right? The big money at 9:30, that's when they're able to kind of do their work. So we'll see how it shapes up. Do they buy the dip? I think the audio might be off because but I can see it. Very weak, very weak. The stocks, the indexes. Yeah.